And we are live. Okay, well, hello everyone. It's Katrine and Seth as well. And just in case you don't know us, we have been on here, I think, the past few modules. But anyway, just a quick intro. Seth is going with us through the entire course on the AI Grim Society, and he has been building the AI Grim Assistant. And I have been building out the school community, including all the classrooms and also the prompt studio you have seen already, hopefully. So today is module 4, and I'm going to just jump into our classroom and we're going to head over to module 4. Now, module 4 is the raw truth, and you can actually read it up here, the raw truth of market success. And I want to take a moment just to really explain. Maybe Seth, I know you're in a coffee shop because of. Can you just maybe mute yourself for a moment?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. So the raw truth of market success and what is behind it. So this one is our biggest module, and you see some of them are still in draft. And the reason is only because I'm not going to overwhelm you. They are all filled out. They are all here. So you are currently looking at module 4, lesson 1 and module 4, lesson 2 that got released today. And the reason I'm doing this, it's 7 lessons with including the bonus lesson. Hang on, I'm going to put it up a little bit, including the bonus lesson. So that pretty much equals to 1 lesson a day this week. So Seth has done lesson 1 already, and he's going to do lesson 2 tomorrow. But I stopped him because I wanted to really take a moment to say, what does it actually mean to build an entire product suite or offer suite or digital product suite? So we all know what it takes to maybe build a physical product or to build just a simple course. But that's not what this course is about, because what we want to really do is we start out with not the audience not knowing us at all. And then we are actually moving into how we can gain access to our audience or how they are going to find us. So by starting out finding your target audience, you probably have seen that finding your target audience, having a client avatar. And the reason everybody is talking about it, because it is so essential and so important to know to whom you're going to sell. If you wouldn't know, you would probably say, oh, I'm going to have my product and I'm going to sell to everyone. But what that means basically is that you're not selling to anyone, because it's going to make it really, really difficult to sell to so many different product to so many different markets with your single product, or trying to get the attention from all kinds of different markets. And that's not what you want. It's like if you go to an Italian restaurant, you expect Italian food. So you don't want to go into a Chinese restaurant and see Italian food and Indian food on there. That's just weird, right? So finding your audience in relation to your niche or your expertise is extremely important. And that's why it comes up. It came up in module 1. It comes up here in module 4 again, and it will come up intermittently in multiple modules. Now, let's just quickly look at module 2. And I just want to really see and have you understand what it actually means to build the digital empire. And when you start out, it's just you. And there's no one else that knows about you. Probably somebody has some kind of a product that is similar to yours, but it's still not you. This person is not selling the way you will be selling. So you're starting out with a blank slate. There's nothing on it. Then the first step is that you share helpful content. The second step is you creating the so well-known at this point freebies and lead magnets, because you need to build some kind of trust and expertise in your audience. Then you're sending them all to your email list. Then step number 4 is where the minimal viable product comes in. Only here in step number 4, for you, as you see this roadmap, towards your clients, what you're going to do only in step number 4, we are actually building and selling something small, like a 45-minute webinar or a small mini workshop or like a 3-day email series or anything like this. And before we go into the big part of building a membership, a huge community, or even a course that has 7 modules, you do want to test everything on a minimal viable product. And that is a mini version. It's pretty much one of the first bricks you have in a house before you build the roof and everything else. So basically, if you consider your course being the roof, you don't build that first because it might all fall apart. You spend a lot of time maybe creating and thinking and building it, but you really need to have these stepping stones before, and it will save you a lot of time and a lot of money in the long run. And then once you have gone through your testing of your small product idea, you then can step into a bigger audience. Not only is it better, but it also, you will step into it with much more confidence as well, because you have already some testimonials that came in, you have already knowledge on how to teach and how to communicate to your clients. And then it's much easier to actually build something bigger. And then step number 6 is really, you will add more valuable stuff along the way. And that is like having some bonuses, having maybe a small extra product you're selling, maybe having some consultations, maybe having some cohort groups, maybe a mastermind, maybe anything like this. You're basically expanding your market. Now, that is from your point of view. If you go over to mapping out your client's journey, the journey of your client is much different and actually longer. And I'm going to pause here right now too, because um, what we don't want to do is jump right in and make sure we're going to build a product because we think it's right. We want to know what the client's journey actually is. And I think if you spend some time here, and that's what I meant by pausing here, is thinking about how your client is going to go through the entire journey of not knowing anything, not being aware, maybe being aware of the problem they have, and then actually jumping into, they're going to look for the information. They are also going to do their own kind of research.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in here real quick. So I'm going to confess that I'm a scanner and a skimmer, and I try to absorb information rapidly because a lot of what I do is like trying to quickly sort out what is valid and what is not valid, or what I need or what I don't need. And that process works really well in certain environments, but kind of what I've discovered in going through Patrick's program and going through this is, if I don't slow down and really absorb what's going on, I miss stuff. I miss the context. I don't put in the right information. So that's my style. My particular little weakness is like just trying to go too fast, and it doesn't work.
No,
So
it doesn't. It's actually, to be honest, it's often the nuances in an article when you read a really long article, or it's these little hints you get at the end of the article. That's how you should go about it. It's like you must think at all times there's a nugget between all these lines that I've written and given you. And if you miss any of that, you might miss the big picture as well. So it's really important to always pause. I love the word this year anyway. My word is enjoyment. And with enjoyment, you slow down and you also hopefully pause for a moment to really let it sink in. And Seth was funny this morning. We're gonna come back to that, but he said, "Whoa, no, was it yesterday? I don't even remember." You said, "Oh man, I spent an hour on prompt 1 and prompt 2," but I'm gonna ask him about that in a moment. I was like, "Oh really? Yeah, that's no time." And for him, it was all the time in the world. And it's just interesting how we perceive things. But just quickly getting back to the journey. So it starts up here, and it has your clients have some kind of a problem awareness, maybe not even, then it would be somewhere even before that. Some clients think, or potential future clients, they don't even know that they might have a problem, so you have to do way more education even up front. So we often see that when, in the health arena is like, oh yeah, I eat healthy. And then you go out with them and they eat these big portions and tons of gluten and lots of sugar. And in their perspective, they think they're eating healthy because they have maybe a piece of broccoli sitting there. But if you go then to a health nut freak or someone who's actually really aware of food and diets and nutritions and all of that, they would say, well, 70% of your plate should be the green stuff, the green stuff you see there hidden under your pasta somewhere. So it's really important that some people might not be even aware of the problem. So there's even more time involved you need to spend before they are problem aware. But once they're aware, they are going into their own information search. That's what we all do somehow. It's like, oh, you talk to friends, you talk to family, you're trying to discover basically what is maybe working for you, and often that takes quite a bit of time too. So the client might move through their own stages much slower than where you are, because if you're already here somewhere in content discovery, meaning you put a lot of content out, the client might be still 3 to 6, maybe even 12 months not aware that they have the problem where you're offering the solution to. So give yourself some grace and time. That's why I always say start as soon as you can, because you're learning and your client is learning about the solution you offer. And that will take time until they really make the first purchase. It's not happening. And that's why it's also called the truth, the raw truth. There is hardly any overnight success. And if you see overnight success, it often deflates after a few months and it's not there anymore. But if you want to build something really solid and nice, you have to put in the hours and the work and the reiterations and stick with what you have for a moment and not just let go of it. So basically, your minimal viable product is only coming in at the first purchase over here. That's when your minimal viable product comes in. So all of this here before is information, giving information, and nurturing them, getting them onto your email list, giving them content over and over again that they can eat and feed them the solutions or some really nice ideas what they can do with their problem or how they can solve it. So you're giving a lot of your time, a lot of your value, a lot of your information away for free. And that's what people are scared of most of the time is like, well, if I give everything away for free, then how can I make money? And the truth is actually that you're growing with your client. You will always have enough to sell. I can't tell you like my list of what I could sell, and I will never have the time to actually fulfill this, even so I'm working already a lot and we have multiple businesses, but you will always have enough stuff to sell. Okay, so there is never a shortage. And the more you grow with this journey of your client, the more you will hear back from your client what they actually need. So this one is your first touch point, the first purchase. That's when you bring out your minimal viable product. Sorry, that was over here. We are looking at already here at stage 4 for us. That is our stage. But this all here are the first 6 stages where your client is involved, which seem to you like small stages. Oh, I just have to do this, this, and this. But you have to do this, this, and this over and over again before they might buy from you. So that's, I don't want to go much deeper, and I'm going to look at Seth's first prompt now. But basically, you want to get to your minimal viable product. If you want to have a time frame, I would say try to get there within the first 90 days. That's a really nice timeline to look at. That gives you enough time to start building, to start communicating, and you need to be involved, obviously, in your client's journey. And then you can build out, right? Then we go to the big course and then, or the big membership, like step 5 and 6 is happening then. But first you want to get to the small, tiny product where it's not as much that it's not that you need to fear it. It's also not dangerous because you didn't put a lot of money in. So it's a good stage to be, stage 4. And there you can rest and pause a little bit too and reiterate your thoughts about it. Okay. So, Seth,
What?
I wanted to ask you something quickly. When you went through the prompt this morning, the finding your audience prompt, And I have 2 prompts in here, and you will see them once you have access to here. There's a video, you can read that too. But you went through both of these prompts, and they are slightly different. But I remember that you said, it's like, oh, by the way, it took me an hour. And I looked at you, I was like, what does that mean? It took you an hour. That's great.
Well, it took me an hour. It's just a few questions, not just a few, but I mean, if you want a good response out, you know, I want to put good information in and think about it, and just, you know, because we're testing this system, make sure it's doing the right thing. And it was interesting. I really got sucked into it because, you know, you start out with something and you have kind of an idea. Well, who's your audience or something like this, and it's like,
Right.
well, you know, somebody between 30 and 65, and they're interested in health, you know, just kind of vague things. But I know from my experience with using AI that if you don't get specific and say, I want this and I don't want that, you know, it gives you vague, unuseful answers.
Right.
And
So you actually took the time and put it in, and you were not fully prepared to maybe spend an hour, because I know your plate is full right now with Blend Precisely as well, with our other software program. But I'm really, I'm really wanting him to go through all of this just to see reactions. And that was an interesting reaction, because for me, my next question was, I don't know if you remember, it's like, well, can you imagine how it would have been, or how long it would have taken you without any of these prompts?
yeah, I do remember the good old days where it's like, even, I mean, the content alone was just mind messing. Did you spell it right in phrasing things? And just without AI, this is like a really, really painful process.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it is.
yeah.
So I'm gonna just quickly stop sharing my screen, and maybe you can hop onto yours if you have it open. But I'm gonna remove us here, and then maybe you can just jump into yours quickly and see how, I mean, first of all, you went through 2, but I would love to see the Grim actually today, if you uploaded the documents there. Oh, nice. Is that Blend Precisely?
Yes, it is. I got a lot going on here. So not there. We were looking for AI Grim. Here we are. That's the studio, and here's my assistant.
Okay, well, look at you. You're naming them now. You're naming M4L1, finding your target audience. So my question is, there were 2. Did you upload both, or did you just upload 1?
I believe there's just one that
Can you open this one? Okay, that's the A one. Okay, so
1A
and the 1B.
I think, oh, I guess there's a 1B as well. Let's.
Yeah, so you have to download every document separately, and that's fine. So you put the answer in, and then it's the Google Docs, the blue one.
Okay. All right, and then there's the 1B. All right.
Yeah, and then you basically download the B one as well. But anyway, you can do that in a moment. So you went through it. Can I just see the A and the B? And did you see a difference between these 2 prompts? They are both about target audience, finding your target audience. And I can see that you filled out, wow, you filled out quite a bit there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more that I could have said and put into this. So it's funny. I haven't really thought in this way for quite some time. I've got a lot of knowledge in the back of my head, but when somebody starts asking you the right question, it evokes a response, and you start to remember things. And kind of my process in going through all this is I remember more the more questions are asked, and
Right.
they kind of make me think about it in a different way, because sometimes the questions are similar. And because I don't remember exactly what I said in the previous module, I write it again, and it helps me refine it and get it better.
Yeah,
which
even
is
so you could retrieve everything in the Grim if you put it in.
I could, but I was being too lazy. And besides, I kind of wanted to think about it. And for me, the process of clarifying to myself about what I'm doing is really valuable.
Mhm.
In a lot of ways, this whole process feels a little bit like I'm standing in front of a mirror and saying, "Well, how much money do you want to make?" And I'm waiting for the mirror to answer me like a lot, but it doesn't.
No, because you still have to put in the work and you do it all. So basically, I think from what I understand from you is like, yes, and on purpose, in every course you go through, you will actually every now and then encounter questions just a little bit differently asked, and that is on purpose. It's really making you go a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper. And I think that is so valuable because otherwise we stay superficial and we bring out products that actually don't have as much of a deep meaning as they should have for our clients.
Yeah, I think I'm more fascinated with the process this is forcing me to go through, and I'm feeling more and more ownership. I think when you're taking a course, there's a kind of a tendency to just kind of go to sleep a little bit and think like, oh well, I'll kind of like go through this and see what's there and all that. But
Mm,
it's like a good student in any college or school or anywhere. It's like the more you put in, the more you really get out of it. If you want to be a great pianist, you don't just kind of, oh, I just kind of do this, you got to like get into it and get excited about it and do it. So it's fascinating to watch that I'm getting drawn into that just by
yeah.
having to explain it to myself, essentially.
Yeah. So the good thing is next week is an implementation week. So there will be no new modules. And actually, we are really trying to build out your first minimal viable product next week. And that will actually show us then how much you're okay there. Oh, was your eye?
Yes, right. I didn't realize I was still on screen. I can't see myself here, of course, because I'm
Yeah, you're looking
presenting the screen.
outside, yawning a little bit and putting your
I'm listening to your lovely voice.
I know you pulled an all-nighter, so you must be really, really tired. Anyway, thank you so much for doing it.
Mm.
It's yeah, so next week we'll implement further actions, but every day I encourage you now too to take just one lesson at a time and go through it so you don't. That's another thing, you want to stay a little bit in this mm, uh, moving part or the agility of it, not agility, but like keep on moving forward without long pauses, because I think that makes you go to sleep as well. So I think it's important to stay on the ball, as you say in German, am Ball
Mhm.
bleiben, and actually continue to do one lesson a day right now. And I think that's not too bad to achieve if you would really want to bring a business out and or do something for a community. An hour a day doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. So I wanted to point out I was really impressed with some of the answers. I mean, you can see the amount of content I put in is not a lot, but some of the answers that I got back, it's as if somebody was reading my mind. And um, I don't know how you accomplish this, but it's brilliant. And
Oh,
um, yeah, it's very encouraging. It's just I wouldn't think of the things that are coming out
yes.
of this.
Yes, because you have a lot of knowledge in your field, but you don't necessarily have the knowledge to develop a digital product. And so that's what the prompts actually will help you with, is everything is structured in the back end so you can actually really bring that product out to the market. It's not just giving you a few details and information. You can now actively communicate back and forth with what you want to bring out, but you don't have the knowledge previously. So short lessons, short prompts, but long answers that give you everything you need.
Shall
All
I
right.
stop sharing?
Yeah, sure. And we are also at the end. I don't want to take too much time. That's it for today. And we will see each other back in a couple of weeks from now, because as I said, next week is an implementation week, and I will keep you to your schedule. And I think our connections, it's so cold here, the snow, you're frozen in between, and our connections are not so great right now. That's why we are also sitting in separate locations. Okay, well, thank you so much. And then I hope this is helpful for everyone. And let us know if you have any questions and suggestions. We are here. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.